Selena carefully let a single drop of shimmering blue liquid fall upon her face. Within seconds, the deep lines, the pale skin, and the tiredness faded away. Her features transformed, becoming young, smooth, and radiant once again, as if time itself had reversed. But this beauty was never natural, it was a secret bound to her tragic past. When Selena was just a little girl, she had been stricken by a mysterious illness that no healer could cure. In his desperation, her father undertook a long and dangerous journey into the heart of the forbidden Dark Ridge forest. There, standing before the ancient guardian spirit of the woods, he begged for mercy. His words were filled with sorrow, and his devotion for his child moved the guardian's heart. Out of compassion, the guardian granted him a single drop of the fabled source of life. The drop saved Selena, giving her health and youth. But kindness was met with betrayal. The very next day, her father returned with an army of men, hungry for the forest's hidden powers. What followed was nothing short of a massacre. A brutal battle broke out between humans and spirits, blood soaking the sacred soil. In the chaos, flames consumed the forest, swallowing every invader who dared to enter. Though the guardian defeated them, the cost was terrible. He lost his ancient strength, and the bond between humans and spirits was forever shattered. From that day forward, no human dared set foot in Dark Ridge. Yet, Selena, who had been saved, remained bound to the source. Without its essence, her youth slipped away, leaving her body frail and aging rapidly. Now, she stared at her reflection with dread. Her final drop was gone. There was only one path left. She needed to find the source again, hidden deep in the enchanted forest. This forest was unlike any other, a living realm where glaciers melted at a single touch, where rivers carried secrets, and where tiny water spirits stirred at the faintest vibration. When the ancient ice cracked and fish darted through the rushing waters, a new cycle of life was awakened. Yet even this miracle drew danger. A band of men with selfish intent entered, eager to exploit the land. They plotted to build sawmills, to cut trees, and spread recruitment posters across the nearby villages. Behind this operation was none other than Selena herself, the woman who had abandoned her home long ago. She urged the villagers to cross the borders of Dark Ridge and fell its trees. Her words left the people stunned. Everyone knew that the forest belonged to a dreaded spirit, an entity no one dared to provoke for generations. To enter Dark Ridge was to invite death. The villagers shook their heads, whispering that Selena must have lost her mind. Her plans faltered, her control slipping. Anger surged within her as she muttered darkly to her followers. Just then, a knock echoed at her door. Standing there was a young man clutching a flyer. His name was Arin. He was not there out of loyalty to Selena, but out of desperation. His uncle was gravely ill, and he needed money for medicine. Selena's calculating eyes scanned him. She saw determination, but also vulnerability. From her pocket, she drew a leaf etched with the sacred symbol of the Tree of Life. She handed it to him, and commanded him to search for it in the woods beyond the mountain. Trusting her words, Arin entered the forest. Day after day, he compared countless leaves, yet none matched the sacred symbol. Frustration weighed on him. At last, exhausted, he sat beneath a tree and lifted his flute. The gentle melody he played carried through the air, soft and haunting. Little did he know, that very sound stirred Lyra, the spirit of the forest. Curious, she cloaked herself in disguise, hiding her true form, and drifted toward the human who dared to play such music. The sound revealed glowing patterns upon her spirit-marked skin, as if the forest itself was answering the tune. Lyra paused, mesmerized, but when Arin turned, his eyes widened in horror. The figure before him was no ordinary woman, it was the very spirit that villagers feared. He stumbled backward, collided with a tree trunk, and collapsed into unconsciousness. When he awoke, Lyra stood above him. Instead of terror, Arin felt an odd calmness. The spirit he had been told to fear radiated not malice, but sorrowful beauty. He quickly explained his purpose. He came not to harm, but only to find medicine for his uncle. Yet Lyra's lynx companion snarled, suspicious of human words, eager to chase him away. Bramble, a towering tree giant and Lyra's closest friend, arrived soon after, anger flaring at the sight of a human intruder. But Lyra sensed something different. Arin's words carried sincerity. Against her companion's protests, she decided to trust him. She vowed to help him find the source of life, but only if he promised her one thing, that he would play his music again for her. Not long after, the guardian spirits assembled, preparing to choose a new protector for the forest. Arin, fearing discovery, disguised himself as one of Bramble's kin. Then, the tree of life began to glow, its branches stretching outward like hands of light. It hovered before three spirits, only to turn and point directly at Lyra. Gasps filled the grove. Against all expectations, the fragile Lyra was chosen as the new guardian. Power surged into her, one essence after another, until flames danced from her hands. But not everyone welcomed this. Crystal Shade, a spirit with a cold, piercing gaze, stepped forward in fury. She smelled something foreign human scent. Tearing away Arin's disguise, she exposed his true form. In panic, Lyra conjured a smoke spell, covering Arin's escape. But Crystal Shade pursued him through the forest. At a riverbank, Arin prepared to leap across, only for a water spirit to rise and strike. Just as doom seemed certain, he collided with Orion, the Golden Guardian. The impact nearly crushed him against jagged logs, but Lyra's magic intervened. She transformed her lynx into a mount, thrusting Arin onto its back, and placed a droplet of the source in his hands. "Go," she urged. Arin fled, heart pounding, flute forgotten among the roots. When he reached home, he poured the liquid into his uncle's mouth. Miraculously, his uncle not only regained health, but became young again, his wrinkles fading as if reborn. Overcome with gratitude, Arin crafted a necklace from wood and beads. He longed to gift it to Lyra. Soon after, Lyra disguised herself as a villager and appeared before him, holding out his flute. Her eyes betrayed her fondness for the music. Smiling, Arin invited her to a festival in the village. Under lantern light, he played a song, just for her. The notes revealed her spirit marks once again, glowing gently as though the forest itself sang with her. But joy was short-lived. Selena struck, seizing the chance to brand Lyra as a threat. She ordered her captured, demanding the secret of the source. Later, Selena washed her face in a river, delighting as her skin smoothed once more. Yet within moments, her body twisted, shrinking, until she became a helpless infant. The source was no gift, it was a curse to the greedy. Still, Selena refused to stop. She had already kidnapped the weakened old guardian. Lyra resisted, dousing flames and breaking torches, while her lynx clawed at her bindings. At the last moment, the ground shook. Vines burst upward as the old guardian, battered but unbroken, appeared. Even in his frailty, his presence terrified the villagers, scattering them as he carried Lyra back to safety. But Selena had more schemes. She disguised another as Lyra, tricking Arin into revealing the source's location. Then, she opened the floodgates, leaving him to drown. While her army of lumberjacks stormed the forest, Lyra fought desperately, ensnaring men in roots and vines. She bargained once again, offering Selena a drop of the source if she left in peace. But Selena demanded everything. Worse still, she used deception to make Lyra believe Arin had betrayed her for money. Heartbroken, Lyra's magic faltered. Lumberjacks pressed forward, spirits fell, and she was struck to the ground. Chaos consumed the woods. Arin's loyal dog rushed to Bramble and the lynx, proving that he had never betrayed Lyra. Together, they broke into the cellar, where Arin was trapped, though water had nearly claimed his life. Lyra herself plunged in, dragging him to the surface and striking him in anger and pain. Around them, spirits and animals screamed as they were captured. Desperate beyond reason, Lyra invoked the forbidden flame of fury. She knew what it meant. It would save the forest, but at the cost of her soul, casting her into the void. Fire engulfed her. Her body turned into a storm of red flames, tearing through houses, blasting villagers aside. She was a tempest, unstoppable. Arin screamed her name, begging her to stop, but his cries could not reach her. In despair, he lifted his flute. The trembling melody pierced the roar of fire. Slowly, Lyra's rage eased. The villagers, too, began to sing, voices rising in unison. Together, their song drew out the fury from her body. With one final cry, Lyra collapsed, her soul slipping into the void. Arin caught her, tears falling freely. As his tears touched her cheek, a radiant flower bloomed beneath her body. And then, against all reason, her eyes fluttered open. Perhaps it was magic. Perhaps it was love. Whatever it was, Lyra had returned. Through her sacrifice, trust was reborn. Humans and spirits finally looked at one another, not as enemies, but as kin. And Selena? She finally reached the source. Greedy and blind, she plunged into its waters. Her skin tightened, her beauty returned, but within moments, it warped. She staggered out of the pool, no longer a woman, but an infant, crying on the cold ground. Her greed had devoured her, leaving nothing but a fragile, powerless shell. Thank you for watching.